He has been a stalwart for us since COVID began because life has been continuing to function at the Tennessee Aquarium. Tom Benson joins us this morning, and week by week you found a way, Tom, to check in with us. And if we couldn't come to you, then you came to the community through your virtual lessons and things that you were doing. But hip hip hooray, now the IMAX is opening. Life is getting a little bit more normal over there.
Yeah, a little bit. Again, Julie, like the aquarium, we've developed a phased reopening plan for our IMAX Theater, and it focuses on safety just like we do at the aquarium. And we're beginning with a limited capacity of just 50 tickets per show. And as you're aware, that theater is a huge space. It can hold 400 people. So with just 50 people for each show, that gives a lot of separation physically from family parties and family parties. So we've got a lot of space to spread people out throughout the theater. And we're also limiting the number of shows throughout the day. And what that does, Julie, is gives us more time in between screenings for our crew to come through and disinfect the theater before the next group of people is allowed into the theater. And we set up a pattern to enter people into the IMAX Great Hall or the lobby from the front, and then you'll exit out the side exit onto Aquarium Way, right there by the corner of Chestnut and Aquarium Way. So people coming in will not encounter the people coming out of the theater.
You know, Tom, David and I were talking a minute ago about our parents and the ages that they are and their memories of World War II. They were a part of it. And during that time in the country's history, the movies were America's escape. People would go to the movies and forget about the wartime for a little while. I think that's one of the things that we're struggling with right now. Travel is difficult to do safely. So by going to the IMAX, you can escape to another world and put some of these worries behind for a little while.
Yeah, and you know, it's interesting that you bring that historical point up, because one of the things that happened a little bit beyond that was, remember how theaters used to promote air conditioning. It's icy cold in the theater, and you know, certainly that's one of those things that we see here at the Tennessee Aquarium over the years. You know, people just enjoy taking a break after they visited the aquarium to come inside the theater, get out of the heat and kind of relax and have that escapism. So that's certainly the case. One other thing that we're doing, Julie, is we're showing all of our films right now in 2D rather than 3D. And that IMAX with laser projection system has the ability to do that. And so we felt like, you know, putting glasses on faces would be a barrier for some people. They wouldn't want to do that, even though the glasses are disinfected throughout the year. But we just felt like, as another layer of comfort and to put people's minds at rest, we're just going to show films in 2D.
Oh, that's a brilliant idea.
Yeah, so those films are spectacular. The imagery is really meant to be shown on the giant 6-story screen, like the standalone theaters, like the Tennessee Aquarium IMAX Theater. But we are showing all of our films in 2D instead of 3D right now. And
for some people, that might be a welcomed experience because your whole face can just be free for a little while.
Well, it's not only that, Julie. Well, everybody will have to wear masks inside the theater.
Oh, they do? Okay.
Yes, in accordance with the Hamilton County Health Department's guidelines, inside any building, you're supposed to wear your masks. That's the aquarium and IMAX and any other building here in Hamilton County. The only time that we're making an exception for that is if you are enjoying refreshments. That is one clause in that health standard, that you can lower your mask while you're enjoying some popcorn or a soft drink while you're watching the film. But the films are only 45 minutes in length, so having a face covering while you're enjoying that film shouldn't really be an issue for most people.
Let's talk a little bit about tourism for a second, because typically we'd see an awful lot of out-of-towners coming Chattanooga way, and the aquarium always one of the stops that they want to check in first. Congratulations, USA Today just gave you quite the accolade.
Yeah, this was a nationwide poll. There were 20 aquariums across the country that were included in this poll, and people across the country voted for their favorite aquarium, and we ended up in the number 5 spot in some very good company, and edging out some aquariums that are much larger and have bigger name recognition. So we're very glad about that. We consistently rank as one of the country's #1 aquariums for overall guest satisfaction. And even though we're wearing our masks while we're on duty, there are smiles behind those masks, and our guest services team are very, very happy to have people back in the buildings and trying to do everything that we can to not only provide a safe opportunity for your family to kind of relax and enjoy and escape, whether it's enjoying the animals and exhibits at the aquarium or traveling around the world in a virtual way at IMAX to Australia or some other places around the world, those beautiful scenes on that 6-story screen. We're also really glad to do things that can enhance your visit and just, you know, put a smile on your face.
Tom, I know you have to get to a meeting, but one last question, if you can allow me. A lot of families right now are determining whether their kids are going to learn virtually or go back into the classroom. There might be some occasions this fall where they have to be schooled from home, depending on how the COVID cases shape up. So the educational outreach at the aquarium, can you elaborate on that a little bit as a support for parents this year?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we did several different things during our closure period, and we're extending those through the summer months, and we will continue to do online educational opportunities virtually throughout the fall as well. So we started with our Aquarium at Home page, and that's been a great resource. We added 3 new webcams, so there's 6 webcams there. There's all kinds of educational materials. The film companies continue to provide us with educational resources that go with the IMAX films, and those are fun to explore. And you know, not only can these enhance any science activities for parents who are homeschoolers or parents who are finding themselves as teachers in this environment that we've been living in since last March, well, really since February in some cases. So a lot of those educational offerings will continue, and we'll continue doing Facebook Lives, which also give people an opportunity to kind of go behind the scenes with our experts and see some things that you wouldn't typically see or experience on an aquarium visit, because these guys, our staff members, are feeding animals or taking you behind the scenes to see an octopus and see how they do enrichment with other animals. So there's a lot of really fun content. We plan on keeping that up, and look forward to some very special things coming up online.
The fact that you do all those types of outreach, one more reason why you're in that best ranked category. Tom, thank you so much for your time this morning.
Yeah, thank you. This has been great.
See you at the movies one of these days. If you do not have an aquarium membership, now is the perfect time to get one. You can just go to tnaqua.org, not only to get your membership, but to see the lineup of the IMAX movies, buy your tickets online that way as well, and find out more about the great things they're continuing to offer at 1 Broad Street right here in Chattanooga. We're back with more in just a minute.
James, your car was pulling to the right, and you came to budge your brakes seeking alignment. What happened?
They fixed it for